Hello everyone, welcome to McDonald's. I'll be your server. My name is Grover Cleveland, and I'm here to remind you that you can follow Ryan O'Connor at Wrangleshank on Instagram and Twitter. Don't be shy, say hi. Ah.
It's time for Ink the Book Show with your host, Ryan O'Connor. And now, let's ink the book.
Hey everybody, it's Mr. Ryan O'Connor here on Ink the Book Show, where I'm inking my first graphic novel called Bonehead. And I'm doing page 125 this morning. I'm starting it at least. I don't have I have a couple hours. So hopefully I can get that done. Otherwise, I've got a good amount of time the next 2 days to get caught up on pages and other stuff. Anyway, let's get to drawing. What am I doing? Oh, yeah. Boom. Let's get some light on here. I'm just crawling out of my dang bed at 9 a.m. Well, I guess I've been up for about an hour now. I've been up for longer than that. How about that? But I've been bumbling around for about an hour. What am I doing? Gotta do the panels first. That's what. We've got this Copic multi-liner here. We're gonna pull this out farther so we can see. Move my T. My T. I think this is the one I started using yesterday, and it was too thin on me. Because sometimes after a while, the tips on these things kind of dull in different ways. But I do like using them. So I've got ones that say SP, Copic multiliner SP, and I have other ones that say Copic multiliner black. I don't know what the difference is, but the multiliners all work the same. Is somebody coming in here? Let's see. One of my friend Jesse says, want to go for a cold bike ride with me instead? Ink outside, I'll come visit you. Now that sounds like a good idea, but whoa. Did I miss my friend Jesse? Oh. And I don't know how I would. I have done artwork on my front porch. I have done sketchbook drawings on my front porch. I inked them and colored them. Had a cup of tea and listened to some music. And I need to get myself a bike. That would make me very happy. That's something I've been putting off for years. I gotta get a bicycle. Which is what Steve Carell says in The 40-Year-Old Virgin. He's like, oh, motorcycle, that's cool. You know, I used to ride a motorcycle in college. And he's like, yeah, that would be cool. I ride a bicycle. Let me find a good one. I've got all these pens and none of them are working the way I want them to. I'm going to go with this size 8 in this other brand that I have. STA pigment liner. Water resistant, I think is water and Copic proof pigment ink. Yeah, I think the water resistant thing is important. It's like if I was going to color this with like these markers, I know there's like, what is it, water-based, and then there's alcohol-based markers. I don't even know which one this is that Prismacolor is, but they're very wet when they go on, and you don't want your ink bleeding when you lay down colors. And that's the cool thing about these pens is like you can pretty much color it right away, and you don't got to worry about your ink bleeding. Or also the same with the ink that I ink the pages with, the India ink. Oh, well, I'll talk about that later. The India ink, you can pretty much like erase your pencils, or what else? Yeah, you can pretty much erase your pencils right away, or mess around on the page right away, because it dries so fast. You can just like paint over it right away, or color over it right away, and it won't run. So you don't gotta wait around for it to be ready for you to keep moving. Whereas when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I used to I'll show you exactly what I used to use. Whoa, knocked over my phone. Good riddance, phone. Unless Jesse texts me back. Here, get a load of this. I used to ink stuff with this Precise V5 rolling ball pen, extra fine. Now, I used to ink all my drawings with it. This is so fine, and it's like let me see if I've got a So if I wanted like solid blacks, now that goes on really well and it's very smooth, but it's still like a scratchy little tiny pointed pen. But I used to do whole pages with this fine little sharp little pen. And I get these at Walgreens to this day. So for fairly cheap. And you know, that is not a bad pen. Like, it is easy to lay down thick ink like that. But if I go to erase it, erase over it, let me see. That's actually not bad. I haven't used them for anything in a long time. But let's see. What about coloring over it? Here, I'll use a lighter color. That's not bad either. I haven't waited too long, so I don't know. I seem to recall that using my Prismacolor markers over them, it would bleed and smear all over the place. But that didn't seem to be happening just now. I also used to do it just on on copy paper, so that might have played into it too. Maybe it's a different formula because I haven't used them for art in a long time. But it's like, I think a lot of artists are creatures of habit, where, like, I was talking recently about how often I just find a tool I like and I stick with it until something better comes along. Well, that was my tool in high school. And it's, like I say, it doesn't seem to be a bad tool. As far as a ball pen goes, it's kind of like a fine one of these. Maybe I'll do some sketchbook drawings with that. I did do a sketchbook drawing last night. I didn't post it though because I didn't color it yet. So tonight I think I'll color it and I'll try and get another one in too. My work schedule kind of changed at the drop of a hat yesterday for my whole week, which in some ways it's nice, but in other ways it just kind of like threw stuff off a little bit. Not a big inconvenience, but for instance, I was supposed to have a lot more time today than I currently do. But now I have all day tomorrow and all day the next day to work on this stuff. Ooh, see, if you look close, and I don't care about this. I don't think it'll show up on camera too well, but you can kind of see that green marker bled through a little bit. I was kind of thinking about that at the time, but I didn't notice it. I was looking for it and I didn't notice it at the time, but now I'm seeing it. The green marker, or avocado, was the color I used. It bled through. That's okay. It's barely noticeable on here, and then when I scan it in and do my adjustments, it won't show up at all. Okay, so those are my panels. I'm gonna put this sucker away. And this brand, if anyone cares, I've never used it before, but I've been using it here and there for these panels. I got them for Christmas from somebody, and look, how's that for a brand name? DYVICL, Divisel pigment liners. Not bad, not quite Copic-y. I thought I grabbed a different size. That works. I thought I grabbed 0.8, but I grabbed 0.6. Phone that I dropped a while back. Okay. Dang it, every time I plug my phone in, it has to open a folder. And iTunes half the time. Okay. So get this ruler out of the way. You give those rulers an inch and they think they're a ruler. Or they think, yeah. Okay, I've got my ink poured, my speedball. So right before the show, I realized, so I was having a hard time with this speedball ink bottle because every once in a while the spout here, this spout pulls out and you can just pour ink from it. But I had clogged it so every once in a while it would get clogged with ink. So I would take a bent up paper clip and push through the hole and unclog it. But one day I couldn't find the paper clip in my drawer here. And so the next closest thing that I had that fit was a toothpick. And I was trying to unclog it with the toothpick, which had worked once before, but this time it got jammed into the hole and I couldn't get it out. It broke off and I couldn't get it out. So I've been having to like unscrew the cap and pour the ink out of this large hole, which was kind of terrifying. Because if I dropped it or one false move and ink all over carpet, desk, page, you know. So it's been kind of freaking me out personally. And then today I just realized I have a couple little bottles over on my bookshelf over that way, and but they have the same size cap. So I just swapped out the cap today and I used the spout, which was so much less. Say a prayer that no ink falls. You know, I'm less on edge. So that's nice. And then when I get to that bottle, I'll just switch it back. So now we're changing scenes. We've got, I would recognize this hand from a mile away. I don't know if you guys recognize it. Well, you know who it is. You can see who it is. It's Mort. I must set an alarm for 11 o'clock or I'll regret it. There we go. I have a tendency to look at the clock every so often while I'm on stream, but sometimes I just get sucked into what I'm doing and I lose track of time. So I set alarms for everything. That's why you'll sometimes hear my alarms going off in the middle of a show. It's old alarms that I set for other things that I never turned off. Oh, another thing. I'll use the same 0.6. I didn't look for letters. Get this out from under my arm. There's the drawer. So today is March 16th. Tomorrow is Wednesday, St. Patrick's Day. The 17th. It's also my roommate's brother's birthday. It's also, is it also my cousin's birthday? My cousin Brian's birthday, who's an artist. He's a tattoo artist. I forget if his birthday's right before St. Patrick's Day or if it is St. Patrick's Day. I think. Oops. Doesn't appear to be today. Facebook didn't tell me if his birthday happened already. Maybe it's the 18th? Maybe it is St. Patrick's Day. I know my roommate's brother Matt, his birthday's tomorrow. And he's getting married right before my birthday in October. What a lucky guy. My roommates on April 1st, they're going on a trip to Israel. I'm so jealous. They're going to Israel for a wedding. They're going to be in the Holy Land. It's a Jewish wedding. It's my one roommate Lindsay's best friend, who I've never met because she lives in some other state, doing other state things. I think she works for Boeing. She has one of those adult jobs. She deals with like classified information that she can't divulge, other than the fact that she deals with classified information. She can tell us she deals with classified information, sure, but she can't give us any inside scoops in case we go blab into the media. No, I don't know. In case I decide to come on here and divulge everything she's confided in me. Like I say, I've never met her. This is just what I hear. I think my other roommate, Tyler, has met her before. Here's like a peephole. Oh, so last night I read Tommysaurus Rex, which I hadn't read before. I've had the book for over a year. I got it 2 Christmases ago. The colored edition. And it was the last Doug TeNapel book that's out so far that I hadn't read. So now I've read every Doug TeNapel book. The only one I there's still one that I don't own, but I it's one of the first ones I read was Monster Zoo. So I need to get that for my collection, but now I've read them all.
Bang, bang, bang.
Who is it? Here's Petunia. She's still wearing the dress she wore to date night at Lorenzo's, where Bonehead showed up way late and then immediately ran off. It's the same night. She's not just gross like the author who will wear the same clothes every day. Actually, doing this YouTube show has at least got me changing my shirt every day. I will wear the same dang thing every day if you let me. I don't care. I don't want to take a shower. I don't want to wash my hair. I don't want to brush my teeth. I just want to rot in the clothes that I'm wearing. No, that's gross, but I don't know. It's like when I'm doing this, when I'm trying to squeeze this stuff in every day, it's like a lot of stuff I just don't even care about sometimes. It's like it has a lot of stuff has to fall away sometimes for me to give this my as much attention as I do. I like those eyes better than the ones I had. They were too round. She looked like she was on drugs or something. On little ghost girl drugs. Now she looks a bit more natural to me. You ever see those like it was kind of when they got into the groove of The Simpsons, like I want to say like season 7 or something if I had to guess. But there's certain episodes where like their pupils are a little too big. Like the Korean animators, they made the the pupils a smidge too big, and they just look like they're on drugs. Simpson drugs. They look like they've gotten into Otto's jacket, if you know what I mean. Now there's an episode where Bart and Lisa, they go to see Spinal Tap, and like a Spinal Tap concert, and I'm pretty sure that's who they're seeing. Yeah, and they're at this concert, and Bart or Lisa goes, "It smells like Otto's jacket in here." I keep saying Otto instead of Otto. But Tommysaurus Rex is good. It really makes me want to crack like that ET formula. And like tell a good kind of Steven Spielberg-y story, which is kind of what Doug TenNapel was trying to do there. And I'd love to see him go for something just like that today. So Tommysaurus Rex, it's about this kid who his best friend is his dog Tommy. And they've got a big day planned, and then Tommy gets hit by a car. And then the kid's depressed, but his dad tells him he got him a summer job working on his grandpa's farm, which kind of like lightens his spirits. He's kind of excited to go see his grandpa and work with him and be with him. So he goes to work on his grandpa's farm, and one day he's getting chased through the woods by this bully, and he kind of finds his way to this like mine, and there's something in there, and I think he ends up going back to the mine, and kind of cracking open this wall, where inside is a fully grown live Tyrannosaurus Rex. And it's I don't think it's not exactly like explicitly driven home that it is like an incarnation of, like a reincarnation of his dog. I think the kid says once at the end, he's like, "You are Tommy, aren't you?" But he names the dinosaur Rex, but then toward the end he starts calling him Tommysaurus Rex. But But yeah, it's about a boy and his dinosaur, and it's like this dinosaur is like wrecking property and stuff, and taking dumps in the park, and he's trying to like protect them. It's kind of like, in a way, it's like Iron Giant, kind of like ET. It just really seems like a good, wholesome premise. Like, I'm almost surprised it hasn't been made into a movie, especially considering he sold the movie rights to it like years ago when it was written, or when it was printed. Like, how especially at that time when it came out. But even now, like, how could a movie like that fail? I'm surprised nobody's made it happen yet. That would be. Can you imagine, like, who would be a good kid for Eli, the boy in the book? I almost said Toby Maguire, but even Toby Maguire, as I know him, would be too old. But he's actually like way too old now. Yeah, I don't know any kid actors now. Cole and Dylan Sprouse? I don't know, but I can just imagine Tommy Source Rex really working in a movie theater, and like, man, I can't believe that isn't a movie. It's not my favorite of his books, but it's such a it's like a simple, good story. I really liked it. And I like there's an 8-page in the color edition that came out. There's an 8-page. He added 8 pages to the story when he was putting out this new edition, and I could point them out right away because I believe they were inked digitally rather than ink and brush like the rest of the book. In any case, it was in a different hand because, he originally did the book like 20 years ago. Even if he did it with a brush, I'd have to open it back up and determine, but I'm pretty sure he did it digitally. But even if he did it with a brush, it's 20 years later, and he's got 20 years of graphic novels under his belt since then. So, like, I could tell where the new pages were right away, and that scene that he added was really good, and it what was it? It was like it was just like an emotional thing for the dinosaur. My friend Jesse is telling me to steal a bicycle. Okay. So that group of friends, my art friends, I love them so much. It was me and a bunch of girls in our honors art class at the end of the day, my last 3 years of, so they were in it all 4 years. I got in halfway through my sophomore year because I just started going to that school my sophomore year. And they had this like honors art program that the other schools in the area didn't have. And I wanted to go, when I heard about it, I wanted to go to that school for my freshman year. But, that wasn't where I lived. And I just knew they had this art program. And like when I was in middle school, I was like, I want to go to that school. Why do I got to go to stinking this other school? So, but anyway, I ended up, by good fortune, I ended up moving to a new town my sophomore year, and that was the school I went to. Like, I wasn't going to convince my parents or whatever to send me to a different school or whatever before that. Nor did I have the teenage energy to like seek out stuff like that. It was like, I was kind of one of those givey uppy teenagers. But once I started going to that school, I applied and I put together a portfolio and did an interview, and I got into the art program. And made some of my best lifelong friends of my life. And yeah, it was me and I think 7 girls in my class. And it was my friends Kat, Haley, Mila, Charlene, Jessie, Danielle, and Yana. And Mila, Kat, and Jessie and Haley are still like real close with me. I see my friend Danielle on Instagram a lot, and she's got a husband that just had this terrible accident. I barely have the details on that, but say a prayer for him. He's still recovering. I think he's like bedridden. He looked messed up. His name's Matt Montgomery. I'm not too sure what exactly what happened to him, but he was in some kind of accident. I think skiing. And that's two skiing. If it was, I know they were on a skiing trip at least right before that. But he had to be like helicoptered to a hospital. And he looked all jacked up. So I've been praying for him. I hope he's doing better. But anyway, I see her on Instagram a lot. She used to work with my mom for a little while. And then she moved, and she was in the military to some capacity. Now she's like on the police force where she lives, which I'm not even sure because she's like always moving around. At least from my perspective, she's always been moving around, and so I don't quite know where she is, but she's visited a couple times in the past few years. I don't see her as much. My friend Charlene, I don't see as much, but it's cool to see her when she visits. She's in Florida, I believe. And she does glass blowing like for a living, which is amazing. She makes amazing, beautiful pieces of art from glass. She gets this molten red glass, and she just like forms it into beautiful sculptures. Oh, Kat, who's been on this show, my friend Kat, she just says that Jesse's a bad influence for telling me to steal a bicycle. Then Yana, I haven't heard from in a billion years, but I was just thinking about her. Yana, get your butt. She just kind of fell out of communication, but we all love her. I know someone's got to be more in touch with her than I am. We got to get Yana in the picture. I want to know what's up with Yana. She was, her and her sister, they were from like a German family, and like her sister eventually got into the art academy as well, and it was just like they would just be like speaking German to each other all the dang time. But oh man, we had so much fun in those art classes. And they're some of my favorite people in the whole wide world. What's going on? Oh, it's just reminding me that I have text messages that I'm not opening. So here's Mort saying, they took Bonehead. I don't know what's going on. Again, here, her eyes look a little too round. So when I see these hands, I'm pretty happy with these hands. I don't know if I'm inking them as well as I would like, but I liked the drawings of these hands. And it just gets me thinking, like, I'm glad I'm making this book, because it's like there's so much about it that, like, I'm impressed with myself at certain parts that I pulled it off. I've pleasantly surprised myself so many times along the making of this so far, that even if it's a total piece of garbage by the time it's finished, like, it'll totally be worth it, just for the good stuff that's come out of it, like the good pieces of art that I've done, or just the learning. But I am trying to stand on my tiptoes along the way and just put my best effort into it. I hope this is I hope people enjoy this book when it's done. I hope people get to see it and hold it in their hands, and I hope people like it when it's done. So I don't know if I said this is page 125 out of about 230, 240. You know who's really a bad influence on me is my friend Mila from that group. Because she's so funny. She'll just bark orders at me. Like, Ryan, go steal that car. I'll be like, yes, Mila. And I'll go steal the car. No, I've never stolen a car, but that's kind of our relationship. Like, she's the one that just had me buy. She lives in California, but she just had me buy like nearly $200 worth of Pokemon cards that are sitting in my basement right now. because she's got this Pokemon addiction. Like, there's a subset of human people right now that are obsessed with Pokemon cards again, but they're adults, and she's one of them. And I found some some decks that she was sending me messages day and night on Twitter and stuff, like, hey, if you see these cards or decks that look like this around you, buy them and I'll pay you for them. And I was like, all right, well, if I see any Pokemon cards out when I'm out and about, I'll let you know. And I never, ever, ever got back to her. Then one day I happened upon some, and I sent her a picture, and she's like, yeah, buy this and that and that and that. And that and that and that and that. And that. So I did. She paid me back. Um, yeah, the weather is so beautiful right now. Let me see. I haven't looked today, and I haven't been out today. Usually I've at least moved my car by now, but it's 51 degrees right now. It's actually a little gloomy. But, oh, the weather. It's so nice compared to yesterday's 30 degrees, and then the day before it was like 56 all day. At like 7 p.m. it was 56. Went to my brother's house, and I was out and about without a jacket. It was so nice. It's kind of like a sparkly dress because she was supposed to be on a date. I've never drawn her in this dress before. I've only ever drawn her in a waitress outfit because she's a waitress, and I liked having a reason to put her in this cute dress for most of her appearance in this book. She's doing her waitress job when we first see her in this book, but then because she goes on this date with Bonehead, that she gets kind of stood up, but she ends up wearing this dress for the rest of the book. Which I'm happy about. I think it was a nice thing for this character to get this kind of glamorous costume change for this book. Which wasn't intentional, it just kind of worked out that way. There might even be panels where I pencil her wearing her waitress costume on accident. Maybe not. But I wouldn't be surprised. Mama, mama. Oh. Uno momento, I'm gonna get another cup of tea. Oh. I just hit the button to heat the water. Out in the hallway. When I said uno momento, I reminded myself of this teacher in season 5 of The Wonder Years. I forget his name, but he always throws in Spanish phrase. He's like it's like a pompous white guy, like kind of full of himself. He's always throwing out Spanish phrases like uno momento or not capiche, comprende. But he does it a lot. It's kind of funny. I think it's a good character. He's a total jerk, but he's a good character. I think that show is written so well. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm freaking out over here, Petunia. Oh, I didn't do her mouth. Oh, another thing about this ink drying pretty fast is that being left-handed, I don't have to slow down my workflow really to drag my hand across the page. It's usually not much of a problem. Sometimes I'm like, oh, stuck my hand in wet ink. But even when I do, it's usually not too big of a problem. It's like dry enough where like it'll get on my hand, but what gets on my hand doesn't really, what gets on my hand dries fast enough that it's not a big issue and doesn't get dragged all over the page. Though I'm still usually kind of cautious to just like lift up my hand and give it a second or wipe it off. Oh. So yesterday, Bucky in the chat was asking, because I've said a bunch of times before that, okay, Bonehead's a skeleton, but he's not like a dead guy. He's just a being that is a skeleton. Same with Petunia. She's a little ghost girl, but she's not like a dead girl. Because if she was dead, there would be no stakes in this book. And Mort's like a devil, but he's not like a devil from hell or anything. And Bucky in the chat was saying yesterday, like, maybe Bonehead, he's like, is Bonehead like maybe an arthropod with an exoskeleton? And I was like, yeah, I guess I'd buy that. If I had to, like, come up with a canon solution for that, maybe, yeah, sure. But it gets me thinking now, like, what's Petunia's deal? She floats around. I don't think she's quite see-through. I was always trying to make her see-through early on. And I think just for representing her in art, I think it would just be easier to represent her as a white ghost character, like just maybe plain white. I think she's see-through in the cartoon. She only has one line, and she's only in it a little bit. But I think if I was to do another animation, I would just make her white. I don't know. Like solid white. It was a lot of work making her see-through. Because then it's like, you've got this like neck hole in her, her outfit. It's like, that's got to be empty in the animation. I don't know. And then, like, if I forget, but it was just a little complicated. Like, when parts would overlap, it would be weird somehow. Oh, because her hair would be see-through, but it would be on a separate layer than her head. And then you'd have, like, I don't know, weird shapes overlapping. So the other day when I went to my brother's house, my sister-in-law was like, "Hey, I just put the kids to bed. Did you want to go say goodnight?" I was like, "Heck yeah." And I went up there to say goodnight, and they're like, "Uncle Rhino." And they started showing me all their toys, like climbing out of bed and showing me all their toys. And then they were like, "Hey, when are you going to bring us more presents?" I was like, I just gotta find the right stuff. And he's like, you should, my nephew Carson, he's like really into Mario and Luigi, like the Nintendo guys right now. And he's got this baby Luigi and baby Mario plush that he's obsessed with. And then his sister has a baby Daisy, baby Peach. And he was saying, you should get me a baby Wario. I was like, baby Wario, huh? Is he in the games? I've never seen him before. And he goes, no, he's not in any of the games, but I think I saw one somewhere. I think they have it on Amazon. And it's like, I think he was just making it up. Like he that's like a wish list character he wants to see is baby Wario. And he's like you should go to where did he say? It wasn't Target. Like Walmart or something. He's like, you should go to Walmart and get a baby Wario. I was like, do they have baby Wario? He's like, I don't know. I think I saw one. So I think Amazon has it. Like, okay, I'll be on the lookout. But I don't think it exists. Let's see. Let me just Google it real quick out of curiosity. Baby Wario. There is a baby Wario. He wears like a little lab coat. That's cool. Oh, it's from what, Dr. Mario World. I see the plushes that he has. Oh, and I do see a baby Wario. It looks like it's a fan-made thing. Baby Wario and baby Waluigi. Yeah, I will get him that. I don't know if it's fan-made or if it's not, but actually, no, that looks like official. Because it comes with the regular ones, right? Yeah, I can get him that. That'll be a nice surprise, as he puts it. Then I gotta get his sisters something too. She's more into Frozen. There's some song. She just sings like the two notes. It's like a siren song or something. I think it's in the second one. I don't know. I haven't seen either. But yeah, I went to go say goodnight to them. To my niece and nephew, Carson and Genevieve. They have a baby sister that was in the next room, but it sounded like they were having a harder time getting her to bed. So I didn't even mess with that little girl, who is the cutest little baby ever. She has these big, baleful eyes, and she's always so smiley and sweet. But, it was bedtime, and the sweetness kind of wore off. But what was I going to say about Carson and Genevieve? Yeah, I was saying goodnight to them, and it turned into like a 15-minute thing about what presents I need to get them. Which is all right. I love them so. They were also showing me like all these presents I'd gotten them. Remember when you got me this out of your car? And we were making piles of those seeds on the sidewalk? I was like, oh yeah, that was the same day. That was my niece. One day we were making like all these. It was like a fall day. I'm not getting my other cup of tea. Yeah, let me get that cup of tea real quick. I'm just gonna get that. Gotta finish this one. Squeezing out the tea bag. Trash. Okay, I'm gonna grab that cup of tea. I'll be 3 seconds or so. All right. Okay. Tea does my soul good. One of these years, I gotta give up tea for Lent. I don't think I've done that before. Or if I have, I haven't done it in a long time. And that would be a good one for me. I've been listening to a lot of lectures or not lectures, but sure, we'll call them lectures,
Been listening to a lot of lectures by J.P. Moreland lately. I love that guy so much. And I just saw a new interview with him went up on that guy, Michael's This Way Network channel, where he calls it the most important conversation he's ever had. I am missing Mort's tail here. So I'm looking forward to listening to that. That just went up today. Maybe it went up yesterday, actually. Late yesterday. He was saying something about it yesterday on his Bible Every Morning show. Because I'd recently seen other conversations that guy was having with J.P. Moreland on that channel. Like, I was scrolling through his videos. I'm like, J.P. Moreland, sign me up. And I listened to all of them. And some interesting conversations. But this one he's really excited about because it's his first one-on-one conversation with him, which would be amazing. I saw that where he works for, Biola University, has like these, there's like a certificate program you can buy into. Certificate in Christian Apologetics, Talbot School of Theology. Biola University. You can. It's an online certificate program in Christian apologetics. It's open to everyone, regardless of educational background. No prerequisites. You can. It's comprised of recordings from our Defending the Faith lecture series. Here are a few key points about the program structure. It's 3 courses. Each course of the program includes 8 unique audio lectures by top apologists, as well as course notes and a certificate quiz. The certificate can be earned by completing all 3 courses. The distance learning format allows for students to complete the program at their own pace. And it's, I think it was like $350 if you register and order. But there was also some coupon code that brings it down $100. I was thinking about doing that. I don't know if I don't know if I get the money to shell out on that. If it ever seems like I've got money to, I need to put some money some other places before I do that. But if I ever seem to have a good reason to throw $270 or $250 or whatever it was, that way I would consider it. I am I'm really interested in apologetics lately. And I'd be more interested in the atheist equivalent, but I never find the arguments compelling. I never find the arguments hold up for me. The truth, like, not truth, but the better arguments I always seem to find end up on the side of Christianity. For me, like, I was listening to Sam Harris and William Lane Craig debate on the existence of God, and it's like Sam Harris, he'll make a good point here and there, but you can't I don't know, can't get around the like moral law implies a moral lawgiver, right? Moral law, like, you don't stab a baby to death, it's wrong. But why is it wrong? Where do the rules come from? It's like even if everyone in a culture was okay with stabbing babies to death, or burning 7-year-old children alive, like, once children turn 7, it's perfectly okay to burn them alive in this culture. And there will be festivals where we burn 7-year-old children alive. Like, even if everyone in any culture thought that was okay, it's like that culture would be wrong, right? That's not good. If the culture that does that has a different opinion, well, their opinion is wrong, right? Morally wrong. You don't burn children alive. But why? Why is that wrong? Why? Why is that culture wrong? On what authority is that culture wrong? By what authority is that culture wrong for burning 7-year-old children alive? And I haven't heard a compelling case. Like when I heard that originally, I was like, hey, that's a good point. Doesn't that imply a lawgiver or design in a way? I don't buy this arm because her shoulder would be over here. Hand's looking a little too meaty for me. There we go. Here I go again on my own, walking down the only road I've ever known. I do not know why that song keeps popping into my head. Or why I'm so bad at singing it. Dude, I've been so bad at singing lately. My voice is changing. I'm going through puberty too. Before this YouTube channel, I was a better singer. I swear it. Probably like a few years before this YouTube channel. But still, I had a wider range. Now I'm reserved to lower range stuff in my 30s. It probably has to do with smoking cigars, which I'm trying not to do anymore, at least for a while. I'm at least making them fewer and farther between. The last cigar I had was probably in October. I know I had one on my birthday, and I think I had two since then. Well, it's 11 o'clock. I gotta wrap this up. I maybe have enough time to finish this page, but I should book. thought I had more time. I didn't realize it was that close to 11 already. I ain't wasting no more time. Oops. Messed up because I was making this door go a little lower, and then I followed that line. I can wipe that out later. Here's her hair. She has a ghost wisp for hair, too. I'll upload the artwork and I'll fix the description on Twitch later. So when I dual stream like this, for some reason it doesn't keep the description on Twitch. So I have to add it in later. Her bow. I gotta clean this brush off too before I scram. Okay, there we go. There's page 125. Ooh la la, we got Morton Petunia back in the picture. Oh, I didn't finish his shoe. See, it helps me to look at the screen. It's like seeing it through another pair of eyes. Okay, so there's the page. I'm gonna get out of here. You be good to yourself. Be good to your mother. Give me a high five. Okay, bye everybody. I love you.